As you're donating money, and I think we are good to go. So let's get this next performer up here. Some applause.
Do we have another chord? A guitar chord? I might have one. Just one, yeah. Ooh. Boy, there's a lot of bass in that. Nice. I could recite one of my favorite poems, I suppose. It's a Dr. Seuss. One day you will read in the National Geographic of a faraway land with no smelly bad traffic. In those green pastured mountains of Farafazee, everybody feels fine at 103 because the air that they breathe is potassium free, and because they chew nuts from the tut-tut tree. Gives strength to their teeth and length to their hair, and they live without doctors with nary a care, and soon you'll be wishing that you were out there and not here in this clinic in Century Square for spleen readjustment and muffler repair. That's all I can remember. All right. We're like on TV, right, or something like that on the internet? Oh, that's screaming? That's pretty scary. Is anybody watching? Can you tell? Are there anybody watching? Three? Gosh. If you knew who they were, then you could adjust to your audience, right? There's a light, a certain kind of light that never shone on me. I want my life to be lived with you, lived with you. And there's a way everybody says every little thing, but what does it bring if I ain't got you, ain't got you? Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody, love somebody the way I love you. And in my brain I see your face again. I know my frame of mind ain't got to be so blind, and I'm blind, so very blind. I'm a man. Can't you see what I am? for you. What good does that do if I ain't got you? Ain't got you. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody the way I love you. You don't know what it's like, baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody the way I love you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Little Bee Gees, if you're wondering who that was. Funny, a woman can come on so wild and free. That insist I don't watch her undress or watch her watch me. She can stand by my bed and shiver as if she were cold. Just to lie down beside me and touch me as if I were gold. One night of love can't make up for 6 nights of lonely. I'd rather have one than another, Lord, 'cause I'm flesh and bone. And sometimes it seems that she ain't worth the trouble at all. But she could be worth the world if somehow you could touch her at all. Right or wrong, a woman can own any man. She can take him inside her and hold his soul in her hand. Leave him as weak and as weary as a newborn child. Fighting to get his first breath and open his eyes. One night of love can't make up for 6 nights of lonely. And I'd rather have one than another, Lord, 'cause I'm flesh and bone. Sometimes it seems that she ain't worth the trouble at all. She could be worth the world if somehow you could touch her at all. Sometimes it seems that she ain't worth the trouble at all. She could be worth the world if somehow you could touch her at all. Thank you. Oh gosh, I have not written any songs. Those are just somebody else's. That was Willie Nelson, actually. You know, what's Willie Nelson's most famous song? No. He wrote it for a woman made it famous. Patsy Cline? What is it? What is it? Can't remember. It just escaped me. Crazy. There it is. That's right. Willie Nelson. Okay. Nickels and dimes, memories and wine. She's on his mind once again. The same old fool, the same old stool. Played by the rules but didn't win. There's an old love in his heart he can't lose. He tried forgetting, but he knows that it's no use. He's got a fool-hearted memory, and it won't let him see. She walked out the door. He's got a fool-hearted memory, and he sits patiently here every night so it can fool him more. She was his girl, his only world. That string of pearls that slipped away. 1,000 dimes, 1,000 times. He doesn't mind what they say. He fills the jukebox, plays the same old song. He fills his glass, and then he turns her memory on. But it's a fool-hearted memory, and it won't let him see. She walked out the door. He's got a fool-hearted memory, and he sits patiently here every night so it can fool him more. Thank you. All right, here comes Carla. Maybe she can, if you give her a round when she comes in the door, maybe she'll come and sing. Oh, she's going to hesitate. Look at that. Conversation. All right. Woo! Here she comes. Up here. How's your memory? A natural woman? A minute? You only want a minute? How about if I ain't got you? Remember that one too? Yeah, well, that's the price you have to pay. I paid for you to come up here and sing. When I was a little kid, I used to sit in front of a record player. That lets you know how old I am, right? Sit in front of a record player, listen to Johnny Cash songs. And Johnny Cash was on there singing. And when you're 5 years old, you wonder how somebody could shoot somebody else, because the song, it says, I shot someone, you know. And when you're 5 years old, you wonder how anybody could do such a thing. By the time you're in your mid-30s, that thought runs through your mind a couple times. I hear the train a-comin', it's a-rollin' around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, time keeps dragging on, but that train keeps a-rollin' on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. I bet there's a rich folks eating in a fancy dining car, probably drinking coffee, smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming, I know I can't be free, but those people keep moving, that's what tortures me. Well, if they freed me from this prison and that railroad train was mine, I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line, far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Thank you. All right. Jesse went away last summer, a couple of months ago. After all our time together, it was hard to see her go. She called me right up when she arrived, asked me one more time to come. Said living on an LA freeway ain't my kind of having fun. Think I'd rather be a cowboy, think I'd rather ride the rain, think I'd rather be a cowboy than to lay me down in love and lady's chair. When we were just beginning, It was such an easy way, laying back up in the mountains, making songs for a sunny day. She got tired of picking daisies, cooking my meals for me. She can live the life she wants to live, it's alright with me. Think I'd rather be a cowboy. Think I'd rather ride the range. Think I'd rather be a cowboy than to lay me down and love a lady's chain. I'd rather live on the side of a mountain than wander through canyons of concrete and steel. I'd rather laugh with the rainy sunshine than lay down my sundown in some starry field. Oh, but I miss her in the morning when I wake alone. The absence of her laughter is a cold and empty sound. But her memory always makes me smile, and I want you to know I love her, yes I love her, just enough to let her go. Think I'd rather be a cowboy. Think I'd rather ride the range. Think I'd rather be a cowboy than to lay me down and love a lady's chain. Thank you. Look at that baby. Look at how cute. Nothing cuter than your own baby. Of course, mine were cuter than yours. Shoot, mine aren't even close to babies anymore. 21 and 24, for God's sake. 21. Colleen is 21. Little Colleen. Scary, isn't it? I saw a Berkeley woman sitting in a rocking chair, dulcimer in her lap, a feather in her hair. Her breast swayed freely with the rhythm of the rocking chair. She was sitting strong and swaying, her cheeks were red, I declare. It was hard to believe what my eyes showed me then. The color in her cheeks with just a natural skin. She wore no makeup to make her look that way. Was a natural mama with the red cheeks. What more can I say? I finally realized there was hunger in my stare. In my mind I was swaying with the woman in the rocking chair. But the lady I was living with was standing right by my side. She saw the stare and she saw the hunger, and Lord, it made her cry. So with anger in her face, hurt in her eyes, she scratched me and she clawed me, screamed and she cried. Oh, you don't give me near all the loving that you should. If you're ready to go and lay with her, you're just no damn good. Well, I guess she's probably right. I guess I'm probably wrong. Guess she's not too far away. She hasn't been gone very long. And I guess guess we could get together, try just one more time. But I know the wanderlust will come again, and she'd only wind up crying. Now you've heard the story, as plain as the light of day. It's hard to feel guilty for loving a lady, that's all I gotta say. Except the woman is the sweetest fruit God ever put on a vine. And I know more love just one kind of woman than drink only one kind of wine. Well, I guess we could get together and try just one more time. But I know the wanderlust will come again, and she'd only wind up crying. Thank you. Carly, you going to remember any of those words? Do I need to have to get them out? Yeah. Over there on that chair is the book in front of you, orange. Look up Natural Woman and a Faint Got You. Yeah, you're in for a treat. She's the bomb. The nuclear bomb. We're going to blow this place up. Oh gosh, what do we do next? Oh, okay. Here's my tree hugger song. Any tree huggers out there? Any tree huggers out there? All right, well, here it comes. Because he called the forest brother, because he called the earth his mother. They drove him out into the rain. Some people even said the boy from the country was insane, because he spoke to fish in the creek. He tried to tell us that the animals could speak, and who knows, perhaps they do. How do you know they don't? Just because they've never spoken to you. Boy from the country left his home when he was young. Boy from the country, he loves the sun. He tried to tell us that we should love the land, but we just turned our heads and laughed. You see, we did not understand. for the tree. Boy from the country left his home when he was young. Boy from the country, he loves his son. Thank you. Thank you very much. What's that? There's a lot of songs in there, yeah. Did you find it? Natural Woman? Looking out on the morning rain. Somebody got a "oh" on there? I didn't hear the "oh." Woo! Sounds a little sharp. You're not going to put that thing like right in front of your face, are you? I believe that you would. I do believe I can fly. All right. Natural Woman, that's the one. All I got to do is go. Looking out. Oh, we got to go higher. Looking out. Yeah, you ready? Oh gosh, yeah, you got to have the microphone for God's sakes.
I need a mic?
Yeah, watch me if you lose the words.
I will lose the words. It's okay. You guys don't mind, right? It's okay. Also, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what time it is, but I needed to let you guys know that from about 7 to 7:15, your baristas will not be able to serve you anything for that moment. Where are we at in time? 6:47. So you got 13 minutes to like order a lot of stuff from them and make them crazy, and then or not. Okay, after 7:15. There we go. All right. The things they do for your coffee.
Ready?
I'll give it a try. Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind, but your love was the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman. And when my soul was in the lost and found, you came along to claim it. I didn't know just what was wrong with me till your kiss helped me name it. Now I'm no longer down special woman. Not bad for 3 years. Thank you. Yay. Yay. The baby likes the song, so it's good. What, the barbecue sauce or the clapping? Okay. All right. Did you want to try another one? No, ain't no sunshine. I'm sorry. Ain't got no. No. That's all right.
Oh, look.
I just breed donors, that's all.
I'll move to it. If you remember any words, then you can just tell me. I'll just sing it.
You're gonna sing this one?
I'm gonna sing it straight up.
Oh,
Faint
beautiful.
Got You, because I don't really have it.
That ain't got you.
Faint Got You. Some people live for the fortune. Some people live just for the fame. Some people live for the power. Some people live just to play the game. Some people think that the physical things they find what is within. And I've been there before, and that life's a bore so full of the superficial. And some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, and some just want everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you. Some people search for a fountain, the promise of forever young. Some people need 3 dozen roses, and that's the only way to prove you love them. Hand me the world on a silver platter, and what good would that be? With no one to share, no one who truly cares for me. Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, and some just want everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you. Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, and some just want everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you. Wow, that made me sweat. Thank you. I think my time might be up.
That's okay. I'm probably gonna need to watch a baby.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Give Carla a hand as she leaves the stage. Thank you. I don't see anybody coming around with a hook, so. Are you the hook girl to pull you off the stage when you're done?
I would have given you all of my heart, but there's someone who's torn it apart, and she's taken just all that I had. But if you want, I'll try to love again. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know first cut is the deepest. When it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worse. I still want you by my side. Just help me dry the tears that I've cried, and I'm sure gonna give you a try. But if you want, I'll try to love again. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. When it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worse.
Thank you. I already sang this song once, but about 80% of you weren't here, so I'm going to do it again. All right. Yeah, if you feel the back up in you. All right.
There's a light, certain kind of light, never shone on me. I want my life to be lived with you, lived with you. There's a way everybody says to do each and every little thing. What does it bring if I ain't got you? Ain't got you. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love love somebody the way I love you. And in my brain I see your face again. I know my frame of mind ain't got to be so blind. And I'm blind, so very blind. I'm a man, can't you see what I am? I live, I breathe for you. But what good does it do if I ain't got you? Ain't got you. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody the way I love you. You don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody the way I love you.
Thank you. I think I'm done. Maybe just happy. Isn't that Nirvana? I think I'm dumb. I think I'm dumb. Huh? How many? Oh, well, I know. Well, how much more? How much more do I have?
Just hit 40 minutes.
Oh, well, when did I start? I didn't notice.
Start 20 after.
Oh, am I done? I am so done. Yeah, you should know I'm a math major at Cleveland State. Working on a master's degree. You know, there's 3 kinds of mathematicians?
Those who count and those who can't.
That's right. There you go. Can I pull this thing? Kind of like a bra.
All right. Is Mia ready?
Hi, my name's Mia. Hi. I'll be singing a song called I'm Not Afraid of Anything. Jenny's afraid of water. I mean, she swims so well, but still she's afraid of water. So she won't go near the sea. Not me. And Kitty's afraid of darkness. I mean, she sleeps in all, but still she's afraid of darkness. So when the lights are out, she has to hold my hand. I don't understand. I'm not afraid of anything. Big mountains, water, dragons, dark or sky. I'm not afraid of anything. Tell me what's the challenge if you never try? So watch me fly. I'm not afraid. Thank you.
All right, are we ready for more poetry? All right, ladies and gentlemen, Christine Howie.
Thank you, Vertigo. I'm pleased to be here supporting the Slam team and so forth. And go team. Just have a few poems to share with you. Why just a sneeze? Why not a bless you for a cough or a fart? Why don't casually religious, vaguely spiritual, or even irreligious people murmur bless you when you hack up phlegm in line at the bank? Why do total strangers need to invoke the mercy of God for someone else's quick, convulsive explosion of air and saliva when we don't, after seeing someone else fall on the sidewalk and hit their head on a mailbox or stub their toe, hopping and screaming and crying? Why doesn't the sneezer instead bless everyone else in the vicinity, since they have been showered with and are now inhaling the sneezer's aerosol carnival of potentially disease-ridden mucous membranes? Why do we cling to the notion from the Middle Ages that a sneeze is potentially life-threatening and requires divine intervention, when we know that no one dies after sneezing unless they are simultaneously being shot in the head with a pistol at close range? Why just a sneeze? Bless you. The world's largest cornflake. Like I told Sonia at Channel 6 News at 5, it was just there in the family-size Kellogg's box. I didn't see it at first. It was bleary in the morning when I opened it up. But when I shook the box over my bowl and nothing came out, I looked in, and there it was, one large cornflake. So I pulled out the bag and cut it open carefully so as not to chip the flake. When I got it out, it was roughly oval, about the same size as the box. It was bumpy and had slightly different brownish colors, like a cornflake. I mean, a regular-sized cornflake. I thought sure this was a sign from God, so I looked for the Virgin Mary, turned it over and around, shined my gooseneck lamp on it from every angle, asked my boy Toby and my friend Lurleen to look too. That's where the money is. Lurleen thought she saw a couple of the ones from the Last Supper, the end ones. Toby allowed as to how it looked like a picture of the planet, but not the moon. On the third day, I swore to death I saw Jesus with his arms outstretched. But next day, he was gone. It was a 36-second interview. The ones they do at the end of the news, after the sports and what's coming up at 11. They mostly showed video of the flake, not me as much. Sonia was nice. She laughed a lot in a friendly way. I thought Kellogg's might buy it for their lobby, but they denied it, said I glued it together or something. Sent me a copy of their 28-page quality control guidelines. Now it's just on my wall in a frame with a coat of clear polyurethane on it to keep the bugs off. Robot poem. This poem was written by me, a robot. Do not be afraid. Okay. Now you're reading these words in that funny voice the voice all humans use for robot voices, the droning nasal monotone. This poem was written by a robot. Please stop doing that. It's really kind of insulting. Robots don't sound like that anymore. Okay, now you're noticing that a lot of the lines are short and clipped, like you expect robot language to be. But in reality, it's quite easy for a robot to embroider looping and complex sentences, such as the one we're in now, with many subordinate clauses, and never, as you say, miss a beat. This is because robots can now sneak in through small cranial openings, take a sample of human brain tissue no bigger than half a postage stamp, and use that neural material to make full-size 3D replications of the human brain. We use a copying machine. We Xerox your brains and then we write poetry. So if you think that poetry will always distinguish you from robots, you may need to reconfigure your thought process. I can help with that. Just sidle over here and give me access to your right ear. Relax. You won't feel a thing. Just kidding. You won't feel a thing. Something you don't want to know. Every person during his or her lifetime will swallow an average of 8 spiders from sleeping with their mouth open. This can't be avoided since you can't try to sleep with your mouth closed, and wiring it shut isn't such a good idea. Of course, you can understand it from the spider's perspective, since this warm and moist hole seems unoccupied. Then perhaps you wake up at night with a little throat tickle, sip some water, roll over, and go back to sleep, contented sleep. While the spider deals with a whole new world of problems. Peristalsis, digestive acids, no way out of this trap. Did you know you're much more likely to be killed by a champagne cork than a poisonous spider? At least that's something. William Randolph Hearst, diving alone, San Simeon. He pulls all his heft, hard sauce and cognac, onto the bending board, positions his ramrod stiff arms away from his head, little boy style, palm to palm. When he springs to lift off, looking down, he plunges towards dark blue tile, into a night sky of waterborne stars, buttery swirls that gleam in his eye. Breaching the surface, a quick head swivel strafes drops across dark ripples. Then a flicker of movement. A servant awaits, poolside. Reminds him of constellations he creates anew, illuminated by hand. Gold leafs sunk in mosaic, the furled seaweed and fluted shells, all specified, purchased. A world absent surprises, save for those he has commissioned. He receives his shoulder towel, steps into leather slippers, and says quietly that the fish below ought to be Pakistan green and made from smooth crystal chips. Even against his weighty shuffle, he hears a pen nib scritch into memo paper somewhere in the darkness where no wishes go unanswered. Thank you. Kill your babies. It's better to do it quickly so they don't see it coming. You love them so, you truly do. Pity. Beware the animal references. Leave the herons to Mary Oliver. If you find any creatures in your work, such as squirrels or leopards, or God forbid, a tawny thrush, come up from behind, garrote in hand, and do it with dispatch. Fear the phrase that feels comfortable as an old shoe. No doubt it is. Swipe the dagger clean across the carotid. As for Flora, Tiptoe up as your stanza cradles a dewy blossom and stamp it out. Now there are broken petals on the ground. Write about that. And if you happen to find an overextended metaphor, just stop. A lot of us were forced to study Beowulf in school, but there's one area that we never covered, and this poem addresses that. What happened to Beowulf at breakfast? Hey, babe, your eggs are ready. Honey, how'd you sleep? Two saw the anguish, Ettins and elves and evil spirits, the most baneful of burdens and bales of the night. Another bad dream. Listen, I told you the dragging the ram into bed with us was not a good idea. You want raisin toast? A hot surge waiting of furious flame. Oh, don't be silly. The eggs are just a little warm. What's on tap for today, hon? A scathing monster, dark ill-doer. Oh, just stop. You know I'm tired of this whole Grendel thing. To begin with, you're never satisfied how I burnish your shield. Harness gray and helmet grim, spears in multitude. Yes, all of that. It's just too much for me to get ready. Plus, Sheila is coming over later, and I need to bake my vole casserole. With gripe alone, I must front the fiend and fight for life, foe against foe. And you remember what Dr. Smith told you, that you're becoming a touch obsessive. My blood-covered body he'll bear, ruthless devour, defile, and destroy. And a tad morbid, if you take my meaning. Did you know the doc thinks all this alliteration is some sort of a Tourette's thing? Did you answer me about the toast? If death must take me as my lifeblood reddens his lair in the fen, no further for me needs food prepare. A simple no thanks would have sufficed. Have a nice day, sweetie, and take the trash bag to the curb on your way out, okay? Thee gory sock, thee swine crest boar. I heard that. All of us have certain addictions, weaknesses that we hate to admit to anyone. And this is mine. Love song to the in-home salesman. He smiles coyly and opens his thick book in front of me. Ruddy fingers flip glossy plastic sleeve pages, pages that slide smoothly, one on the other, a soft, sibilant whisper. He murmurs of options, the gazebo with maroon trim, term life with an annuity, a security system with two-way wireless communication. His words, like brilliantly colored birds, fly in close formation, wings thumping the air in unison, and sweep me away. I want the kitchen knife set guaranteed for life. I ache for replacement windows with invisible screens. Give me the emerald and ivory granite countertop. Whatever it takes. Just please, don't stop. Croon to me lushly in your bourbon-varnished growl about the reverse layaway on bamboo flooring, and point with your pinky ring finger at the patented fan that makes indoor grilling more than just a dream. And ask me again what would make me truly happy with regards to a gray water recovery system. And if I float too close to the ceiling, wafted up on the thermal of your clothes, draw me down gently and fit your pen in my moist and trembling fingers. It's about a phrase you've probably all heard. Make the nut. Even when you break even, it's not an even break, because the amount you earn is always less than the amount you will need a few moments from now. It's a rotating wheel that turns you up and then under, black to red. Traveling actors knew that when they arrived in a new town, the owner of rooms would whack the nut off their wagon wheel and keep it until the bill was paid. Actors then, as now, were not applauded for their responsibility. So performers had to make the nut to enable their lives to roll on. And so it is today. Our wagon's parts have many fingerprints on them, and our progress is proscribed by those with our nut in one hand and a hammer in the other. I'm the one you hate. Yes, I'm the one who was there in the stands when the last Cleveland Pro team won a championship. I was there in 1964 when Frank Ryan hooked up 3 times for TDs with Gary Collins. There when the Browns beat the Baltimore Colts, Johnny Unitas and Raymond Berry, those Colts who were favored by 10 points. I was in the bleachers, which was not the dog pound then, not the cool place to be then. It was just where the cheap seats were. I was there where you will never be, since that was the last pro title Cleveland will ever win. The last one in all of time. You will not see one, nor will your children's children. It came, it went, and I was there. Ha! I saw it in person. Then I saw it the next day when KYW-TV Channel 3 played the tape of it over again. I saw it twice. We won both times, 27-0. Ha! Do I gloat? Of course I do. Do I feel sorry for you and your progeny? Yeah, I guess. But I was there. I have relived it many times, and that gives me the strength to absorb your hate. Bring it on, because you see, I was 19 and I was there. A thought on movie making. There will always be people smoking in films because directors and cinematographers love those drifting white clouds expelled by lips that linger so effortlessly in the air and then slowly dissipate as a stream of new smoke from the glowing tip of the cigarette rises to meet it, blending liquid chalk into ethereal milk. That's why even if smoking is banned everywhere, and citizens who smoke grow their own leaves and roll them in old newspapers, there will still be characters smoking on the screen, because directors know there are only so many pots of steaming soup, just extinguished candles, just fired guns, and sidewalk grates on cold November days a director can fit into a given scene when you desperately want a white cloud to appear over that man sitting alone in a dark bus station waiting for a lover who will never arrive. My last poem is, the title's in French, but the rest is in English. Distillature de Noir. Joe, I know I ain't special. There's 100,000 like me, broken down, bleached up, and washed out. Maybe 1 million. That's what I like about you, doll. You're the frayed end of a worn-out rope, a broken broom handle, useless, except to me. Ah, sweet talk gives me brain cavities, crotch jockey, so sharpen your pants pleat on some other dame's whetstone. That mean you don't want to play Chugger Jenny on my big store con? That's a limp grift and you know it. You're singing nursery rhymes at the wrong crib. You run me down like a Chinese cabbie, Giggle Buns, but tramps like you I read fast as little Lulu. Hell, Joe, you treat me like an old sock. Soon as you feel chilly, you just shove your foot all the way in. Baby, you're a deck with no aces and no faces, and that's 2 stops past Dead Town. Hear it, Joey? The siren's getting closer. You think maybe somebody tongued the ear of the constable as to your whereabouts? You can frame me, Sugar Weasel, but you can't hang me. I got a secret staircase behind the fern. That's why I gave up praying, Joey, 'cause you always provide. Marry me? Nah, but I'll grab a flashlight for the stairs. Bring my pillow. Leave the cat. Thank you, and good luck, team.
In a talk that was given by Robert Frost, I discovered this quote. It says, "Take these two people running for the presidency. You're probably partisan about them. I'm not. I'm a Democrat. But wait till you hear the rest of it. I've been more or less unhappy since 1896. When I was 40-something, I wrote this poem that was inspired by personal columns. Personal. Some women love to dance. I'd rather watch ballet. And I, alas, concede, finance not my forte. Some love to eat in restaurants. I love my kitchen best. More than treble prices, I'd rather pay but once. I know the dishes don't clean up themselves, nor food itself prepare. But humble means have humble dudes. Though I love money, money don't love me. Would I had been rich, a different bitch. A touching love that knows a fire to put out. I may tender thistle instead of any rose. Though football more, I care less for sports. My bowling may roll a gutter ball as I court. I love my culture free, my entertainment's cheap. Free concerts are my glee. I look askew at tickets steep. Classical musics are the sounds my ears embrace. Poetry is the muse my pen and reading chase. I fancy I'd love a teacher with lovely features, or a librarian for a quadragenarian, or any artist I fancy, perhaps a potter. But what does it matter in love's engulfing mist? So now I'm a septuagenarian, but it was more fun being a sexagenarian. This is a William Stafford poem. Day after day, up there beating my wings with all of the softness truth requires. I feel them shrug whenever I pause. They class my voice among tentative things, and they credit fact, force, battering. I dance my way toward the family of knowing, embracing stray error as a long-lost boy and bringing him home with my fluttering. Every quick feather asserts a just claim. It bites like a saw into white pine. I communicate right, but explain to the dean, well, right has a long and intricate name, and the saying of it is a lonely thing. And this is another William Stafford poem. It's entitled, A Ritual to Read to Each Other. If you don't know the kind of person I am, and I don't know the kind of person you are, a pattern that others made may prevail in the world, and following the wrong God home, we may miss our star. For there is many a small betrayal in the mind, a shrug that lets the fragile sequence break, sending with shouts the horrible errors of childhood storming out to play through the broken dike. And as elephants parade, holding each elephant's tail, but if one wanders, the circus won't find the park. I call it cruel, and maybe the root of all cruelty, to know what occurs but not recognize the fact. And so I appeal to a voice, to something shadowy, a remote, important region in all who talk. Though we could fool each other, we should consider, lest the parade of our mutual life get lost in the dark. For it is important that awake people be awake, or a breaking line may discourage them back to sleep. The signals we give, yes or no or maybe, should be clear. The darkness around us is deep. I've been intrigued by the name of John Boehner, Boehner. This happens to fall into 17 syllables. However, I have it as 4 lines. I hear it's Boehner, and I sense the bane in what looks like a boner. This is a poem of mine called Bifocal. Looking for a world there is no way of knowing, what if cannot undo the done of history, nor calculate the turns any best laid plan on its way may encounter, so wry as irony. Such as wishes would were what stumbling angels, and yet tomorrow's loom upon the present's heel, that better may best worse, may our feet whirl petals, I pedal petals. A poet whose poems sometimes impress me a lot is Marge Piercy. And let's see, this is one of hers called For the Young Who Want to. Talent is what they say you have after the novel is published and favorably reviewed. Beforehand, what you have is a tedious delusion, a hobby like knitting. Work is what you have done after the play is produced and the audience claps. Before that, friends keep asking, when are you planning to go out and get a job? Genius is what they know you had after the 3rd volume of remarkable poems. Earlier, they accuse you of withdrawing, ask why you don't have a baby, call you a bum. The reason people want MFAs, take workshops with fancy names, when all you can really learn is a few techniques, typing instructions, somebody else's mannerisms, is that every artist lacks a license to hang on the wall like your obstetrician, your vet, proving you may be a clumsy sadist whose fillings fall into the stew, but you're certified a dentist. The real writer is one who really writes. Talent is an invention like phlogiston, after the fact of fire. Work is its own cure. You have to like it better than being loved. Bill Holm is a poet I stumbled on at a concert in Rocky River. They have these concerts at the Unitarian Church, and they have books, you know, like paperback 50 cents, hardback $2, and it was at that spot that I stumbled on this collection by Bill Holm. This is one of his called 1736th Avenue. Your huge house was a curse. Its many rooms allowed you never to prune your life. The house saved everything. 15-year-old icebox notes from your pilot lover. Mike, I'll make the cake tonight. Get butter. Love, Jimmy. A beer coaster from Waterton, Alberta, signed by John Allen and 20 drunk roisters. A postcard from me with a poem I'd forgotten writing. 1,000 negatives for photos never again to be developed on this planet. An empty tin box with a note from mother taped to the lid. These are your favorite chocolate chips, love. You must have thought, like all of us, that if these objects of your life still lived in the back room, you could visit them anytime you wanted. And then your life would never disappear behind you like a boat wake. Yet there you are in a plastic bag on the fireplace while we sit throwing, telling stories, weeping, imagining this big house stripped clean, Lysoled, no dust or mildew left, no pack rat ghost to pace it in the dark. This is sort of a punny poem. Sorry. Woo. This is sort of a punny poem. I sometimes get off on sounds and like to pun a lot. I walk is spelled W-O-K. I ran, spelled A-Y-E, comma, R-A-N. Okay. I walk, I ran, Iraq and Royal, the muddle least. Netanyahu, but ne'er who win 'em. Myopia, who's too far to see. There's more turkeys than Anatolia, if it hasn't occurred to you. Such is the way. And Assad, oh, show me a blade of grass. Oh, serious it is, Damascus to know what? What we can't ask any chiropractor? Would you, if shortchanged, say Egypt? Peace beware. Is any crack but only wise? Uncertainty has more missteps than history can tell us how to avoid. I encountered a interview with Thomas Frank in one of the magazines I subscribe to, and one of the questions was merely the statement, ideology trumps reality. So I thought, I think I'll turn that into a villanelle. So the title of this is Religion, Politics, Economics, Left, Right, Deserted, Wrong. A lot of sight gags in the title. Beliefs, denial of uncertainty, a dogma's bite is tighter than a vice. Ideology trumps reality, where no doubts can stare down such certainty that's not to be confused with good advice. Beliefs, denial of uncertainty, let heads slam into walls, 'tis a pity. Persuasion can't persuasion sway, it is ideology trumps reality. Perhaps all the way to infinity, to what heart's content it may be to belief's denial of worn certainty. Informed may be of certain facts needy, where some head is more hat than would be whiz. Ideology trumps reality. Heads at least as thick as skin, they trumpet what cocksure tune less ours than march to their beliefs denial of uncertainty. Ideology trumps reality. So I need some time to get a little more organized or something if I'm going to read some more poems.
Hey, Bill, you ready? Come on up.
Hello, everyone. Is it okay if I sit? Am I allowed to sit? I kind of want to sit because I'm somewhat of a performance poet. And I perform a lot. I don't want to perform today. I'm just going to do some poems. Is that cool? No, allow it. So when I heard about this, I discovered some pieces that I wrote some time ago, so I'm going to perform a few old pieces. Well, I call them old pieces, but if they're still socially relevant, I feel they have their place. However, the first piece I'm going to do is by another author. Lights shining too bright, superstar, superstar. Too big in the spotlight, movie star, movie star. Too scared to go on stage, baby cry, my oh my. I am living my life as a superstar, facing the fears of big crowds, loud shouts. I do know what to do now, smile or frown. When that piece was written, I discovered it among a book of a whole lot of pieces. It was by a now 10 years old, 7-year-old girl, my daughter, Indigo Elizabeth Brown Barrett. I was very proud to discover that piece. 7-year-old girl wrote that. I wasn't writing that when I was 7. I'm barely writing that now. Trying to write like you when I grow up. I know. Something's missing. You know what I'm missing? Poetry. The individual who was up here who did the poem about the sneeze, like, you know, poems that's about stuff you don't expect it to be about, or poems that you do at very popular venues that make people uncomfortable and kind of squirm in their seat, that ain't about what you think it should be about or doesn't speak to the common person at that particular venue. I like that kind of stuff. There's a certain individual here who knows who I'm talking to because I just pointed that person out several times. That said, that was kind of a segue into this. I got into trouble for this piece. Like, I got, yeah, I got kind of dogged about this piece, but you know, this is about my personal journey, how I ended up where I am, how I feel about it. I am a man of God, not a man of religion. Envision. Mama and sister not talking to this day because of the way that mama chooses to worship and the way that baby sis chooses to pray. In most churches, a lot of y'all don't get along because of the way the sister sing that song. Now, y'all know she wrong because this ain't no bar and she ain't no star. And this little light of mine, I would let it shine, but I stays on the straight and narrow only because his eye is on the sparrow and I know he watches me. Personal accountability because God is me is easily forgotten, rotten to the core, one's interior, inferior, confused, infused with thoughts of forgiveness based on fear of fire and brimstone. But when left alone with one's thoughts, what does God tell you then? Be a better person, be a better lover, be a better brother, be a better father, be a better mother, be a better friend, because it's not about religion, but about the God within. Thank you. Wow. Last time somebody said that to me, I ended up with children. Wah, 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 wah. That's what you think. It's another story altogether. Oh, hey, that's it. Let's do this. You keep on giving me all these segues, man. Thank you. Right. How about that? So I told you I just found all these today. Sorry if it takes me a while to pull it together. Aha, here we go. All right, the name of this piece, I don't know why I call it Vanessa. It's not really my style. It's kind of urban legend turned poem. I've always wanted to do it. So here we go. She was fine. I mean, you don't get it. She was fine. About 5'8" or 5'9". Either I'm tripping or maybe it's the wine. I mean, she was fine. She made Halle Berry look like Bismarck, and with a glance and a dance, she had stolen my heart. So I whisked her with grace from the dance floor and offered her my seat. She was well put together in leather and pedicured feet. Her scent was so sweet. She had flawless skin. Her body was perfect, not too thick, not too thin. So, what's up? Is this the end, or can I see you again? And just like that, it seems my rap had its effect. She leaned in and gently kissed my neck. From that point, the conversation went in a completely different direction. The apple of my eye became the object of my affection. Either this is a dream of my lucky night. She kept me believing in love at first sight. From the club to the hotel, I gave in to her caress. We hit the door, then hit the floor, already half undressed. We kissed, and I melted into her as if we were one. In my altered state of awareness, I was so carefree and careless as moonlight poured through the window and cascaded down the side of her face. This became an image I would never erase. At dawn, she was gone. She had left without a trace. Written on the mirror above the dresser on the wall was a message in cybermac lipstick and sealed with a kiss. I'm glad I made you happy. I'm glad you got your wish. I am with you always till death do us part. I gave you all of me without giving you my heart. For you, a token to take with you for the rest of your days. Welcome to my world, the wonderful world of AIDS. Thank you. So my cousin went to Morehouse. He told me that was one of the stories they told them when they first got there. And I think it's funny. He went to Morehouse in '86, and we still believe that AIDS and those things have a face. It's gay or it's ugly. Or I've actually heard someone say, oh, man, she's too cute to have anything. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of funny to me. Like, I don't know if you hold a 22 to your head or you hold a Mac 10 to your head, you're gonna die different. Well, you know. I'm gonna die different if I hold this 9mm to my head. It's gonna be different than that 22. Well, possibly because it said that the bullet of a 22 may ricochet off a bone or something. I don't know this for sure. I heard that as a rumor. Oh no, OGs use shotguns. Them old cats, they like it because you know you go out on your back porch, someone cutting through your yard, and you hear that clack clack. You scared. Something gonna get you, even if they don't hit you. Something gonna get you. All right, I wrote this a while ago also. I know when I wrote this. When that fight took place in the stands during a basketball game, I was just kind of disgusted by it because my feeling is this. Come on, if the cameras just turn away and no one gives it any energy, then, you know, we have no fight to view and we have nothing to show over and over and over again in the highlights for our children to see and worship and praise. And it's kind of disgusting to me. So, from Jordan to James, it's just for sport, but this ain't no game. Jump, nigga. Another magic trick. Sold. For a Hummer, white woman, and just enough platinum rope to hang himself. Meanwhile, back in the hood, a little boy in a number 23 jersey is up to no good. Around the corner from the new stadium, down the street from new townhomes and condos, stands an abandoned, boarded-up school and glass-infested playground where shattered shards of multi-million-dollar dreams with the reflections of reality within each shard that cut and fester on the blood-stained blacktop. While the entertainment industry continued to prey on the state of the world in urban decay, teachers and parents pray to just survive from day to day. As they continue to play games that turn into fights and stands, sending messages, the definition of a man, defining the deprivation that is destroying our children. More stuff. There was right anymore. It's gone on over and over again. There was the shooting that took place at Case Western Reserve. One of the I don't want to say first ones, but I guess this was kind of inspired by that. Again, still I guess socially relevant. Injustice, dressed in drag, wrapped in a politically correct flag. It's illegal to hit a fag, or commit any crime based on hate, but men still get away with rape at an alarming rate. Oh, say, can you see? Or are you blinded yet reminded by a legal system that won't let you forget? You ain't free yet. White, middle-class woman kills all 5 of her babies, receives sympathy because she must be crazy? You must be crazy. The poor African-American woman, single, she got to go to work. She got to pay the rent and daycare cost. Her baby's life lost due to a bad decision. Mama on a mission, left to mourn, left scorned by a society who spews guilty verdicts before the trial takes place. It's an open and shut case, and it's not just about race. Did you know the last episode of your favorite show probably got paid for by somebody's blow? 3 strikes and you're out unless you get clout. Unless you get clout, can you afford Betty Ford? And what's the difference between an addict and a fiend? That thin line that separates a nightmare and the American dream. A double standard is standard. That man is homeless until he asks you for spare change. Now he's a bum. You can run, but he can't hide because he sleeps outside. As technology gets better, people get more violent. Postal workers get more violent. Sports fans get more violent. Religious extremists get more violent. Law students, the schools, our children get more violent. And you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to remain silent. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, coming from you, I do. I ain't lying. Okay, how much time do I have? A couple more, maybe? Is that cool? Do you feel like hearing from me any longer? Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I want to do this one. This is fun for me. Again, just doing some poems, not performing. Years ago in 1984, 85, on I believe it was the American Music Awards, Prince was performing. Was anybody there? Prince was performing. And Eddie M., who was his saxophone player then, and this is you, as a sound guy, you know this is a lot has changed. As a fan of Prince, there are outtakes. There are many ways you can hear bootlegs and all kinds of things. I believe that this was the saxophone solo that would have changed Eddie M's career. And his microphone fell out of his sax. And so I could see him playing and playing and playing his heart out. And there I am in front of the television like, no! Never heard it. We'll never hear it because nothing ever picked it up. And that's what this piece is about. Silent seduction, meaningless muted melodies influenced by the inflection. A synopsis of eternity etched in purple stone, like being in a room full of people and feeling alone. A tune with no tone, sex with no moans, rhythmless. Rhythm less is more, so I endure, though anticipation causes frustration, like masturbation with no climax. So I've come to the conclusion that illusion is real. Auditory imagery painted in abstract melancholy madness. A movement motionless moves me still. Thank you. Okay, I'll do two more. This is one of my favorite pieces to perform because I like this piece and I like doing it without a band and I like just kind of having fun with it and I like that I don't really consider myself a singer, but I'm gonna sing anyway because I wrote it. Why Tony, Tony, Tony? Why do I always get Tony, Tony, Tony? Because I'm not as skinny as I used to be. 130, 135 for most of my adult life. I am now officially 145, 150, baby. It's the cookies and the beer. I do agree. Raphael Sadiq does put out good stuff, so I will take Sadiq swag. I knew from the start not to let you have my heart. Yeah, you don't love me like you used to. First you made me love you, then you tore my world apart. You don't love me like you said you do. You don't love me like you used to. You don't love me like you used to. You don't love me like you said you do. You don't love me like you said you do. I could see it in your eyes, 'cause you left a trail of lies. You don't love me like you used to. The perfect love was just an act. Guess who played the fool? Although I'm hip to all your lies, I just can't stand losing you, and you don't love me like you used to. You don't love me like you used to, and you don't love me like you said you do. You don't love me like you said you do. Oh, I've given it thought. I've given it time. I've seen it in verbal mindscapes, even written it in rhymes where every time is the last time. Every find is one of a kind. Every one-sided argument ends with the same beginning. Why argue a point not worth winning when winning is not the goal and love is not the objective? Why objectify a lie with the truth? Mixing emotions and the truth becomes a lie again. And though I admit we can never just be friends, I'll fake it for you. I've observed it from obtuse angles with obscene themes of forbidden dreams, but you already know I like to watch. Faceless, still ticking, taunting, torture to a lovesick slave, caught up in the moment, waiting for the next fine, next one of a kind. Yes, this poem is about you. As much as it is about me, it's about us. You see, maybe for me, what if is better than what now. We could have made it work is better than how. However, how can I forget when the past plays a pessimist perspective of perfection? You know, a fairy tale ending is merely the beginning of another chapter, so I take my stoic stance of sweet romance until good times and good wine is no longer enough, and she calls my bluff, and I answer with a smile and denial, all the while knowing you don't love me like you said you do. You don't love me like you said you do. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll do one more. You see, yeah, right there. Wow. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Speak now or forever hold your peace of mind, and in time piece together the fragments of tomorrow. Sorrow in the name of a game that passes you by as you lay lifeless. For your life is less appealing when you're feeling oppressed, stressed, because freedom itself has been held captive. After all, it's 80 degrees outside, but you on Facebook or your video game is interactive? Come on, do you really know peace? Do you really know revolution? Do you really know war? Or are we all just democracy's whore? Armed men in helmets in the hood, all for the better good. Freedom rings, but malice is tone deaf. Revelations reveals revolting realism, but is it destiny or self-fulfilling prophecy? Possibly realized forever in your eyes ends when you blink. Just think, could you have ever imagined that you would suffer racism at the hands of someone else black? Could you have ever imagined how low you would sink in the name of payback? There's rape, sodomy, child molestation, and this is what really hurts. According to the media, that's just in the Catholic Church. Road rage, upper middle class children crying out for help wash crimson tears off their hands with no remorse, of course. Question is this all new, or is it true that the good old days are more old than good, and the only difference is a high-def TV with high-def Blu-ray and DVD, which has the ability to subdue our subconscious, subsequently sending messages into the atmosphere that adhere to our fears until we forget they exist for a reason. The thin line between fear and instinct has been crossed, and at what cost? Does anybody here remember imagination, conversation, books, 15-minute long songs with hooks? Oh, it sounds so simple, but you see, it's the simple things that we seem to so easily surrender. Does anybody remember taking a long walk at night? Or just being polite? Or, for that matter, a good old-fashioned fight? I hate to think that the things that are meant, that the destruction of our society is based upon the things that are meant to make life better, but let me ask you this. How long has it been since you've written a love letter? It's simple psychology. Technology is to blame. I blame you. I blame me. Being rude or having a bad attitude is made easy, but believe me, the final decision is yours, because nobody should have to tell you to turn off your cell phone. Hello? Yeah. No, I'm just at a poetry spot. No. I'll be done in a minute. No, they're cool. It's good. No, okay.
I should have known he'd do something like that. Oh, yes. You like him? I like him too. I really like his wife, but that's a whole nother story. Yay! Okay. So I get to thoroughly embarrass some young people by saying that I had the pleasure of working with some folks through young audiences over the summer. Yes, not you, baby. Some other young people. I worked with you because the law says I have to. And he's cute. I love him. He's cute. But in addition to that, a couple of people that were part of the Artworks Poetry Co-op over the summer have come in to read, and I don't know if they're going to read anything that we did or some of their own stuff, but it doesn't matter. Real quick, I'd like to thank Tom Noy for sponsoring the high school people. Go ahead, baby. Good job. Thank you for everyone who's sponsoring or donating or reading. You guys are really awesome. So I would like to bring up, because Carmen sold you out, you're first, Aaron. Mr. Aaron McClarty, followed by Miss Carmen Callahan.
Hello. Okay. Well, the first poem that I'm going to be reading is called Finding Work. Okay, if I can find it. Yeah, it's my poem. Okay. Do you know the hardest thing about finding a job is? Finding the right job. Trying to find a job that's steady, trying to wait and get by without money, trying your best on interviews, scrambling for the right words to use. Finding work is a job in itself, and trying to keep one is harder. When your boyfriend starts tripping and holding me up by arguing, and he's making me late to work, and now I'm hearing the F word from my boss. You're fired. This is the real job. Being a single mom, providing for my baby girl, trying to get back to work. Oh, okay. Okay, this next poem is somewhere lost in here, if I can find it. Not organized at all. Awkward. Just waiting. Very awkward.
Poetic pauses.
Yes. Yes, totally. Okay, well, I can't find it, so I'm going to be reading another poem. Oh, okay, here we go. Fatal anger. Anger is a tumor. You must treat it before it takes over. If you don't treat it soon, it will take over your life. It will turn friends into enemies. Your family will become victims of wrath and fear you, not love you. Anger is a substance. You must stop taking hits. Don't let becoming mad become an addiction. You must go to rehab before you have a relapse. Listen to me. Don't become an addict. Anger is a tool, and if used wrong, it can be a weapon. It can destroy and create a war and end life as we know it. So you better think twice before you get mad, kid. The last thing you want to do is wipe away the world just because you're angry. Okay, and last but not least, one of my favorite pieces. Steering. It's foolish. Me speeding down this exit ramp like I am 17 years old, riding without parents or peers for the first time. But I am not young. I am not by myself. I'm the parent driving down the road with my pregnant daughter. I'm putting their lives at risk as I fall asleep at the wheel, unaware of what's at stake, unaware that the freeway is just a bad metaphor for the crack cocaine I've smoked. And me falling asleep is just me having a relapse. No, this is not just a comparison. This really happens. As my daughter takes the wheel, my foot stays on the pedal, but she's not the one who can steer me in the right direction. I must wake up before I fly off the next bridge. If I can just wake up, I will win over this addiction.
Okay. Sorry, I'm short. Okay. Hi, my name is Carmen, and the poem. Hi. The poem I will be saying is my interview for my co-op. We interview people who have been in situations that aren't so good, and so this is kind of their perspective that I'm writing from. Needles that tie us together. They don't understand what's wrong with me, but you do. You're always there when I need you, giving me that serendipitous high to boost the bloodstream. When I met you, it was love at first sight. Since then we were bonded, couldn't keep hands off each other. When you first touched my skin, I knew you'd become my obsession. It didn't matter that you made my heart stop, because when I was revived, I thought of you, and the next time we could be together. My friends say you're no good, that I should cut the thread to the needle without looking back. My own body fights me, constantly in attack, but I lack the strength to get help. Because I know without me, you cannot grow, nor I without you, my love. So I constantly take each blow you serve. I have no nerve, for I gave you all the power. They see you as this evil villain, but you will always be my heroine. Giving you time to marinate on that. Okay. A broken man's regrets. I awaken, drenched in sweat and heart beating fast, reminiscing my hell of a past. I try to wipe the tears away before she sees. A man shouldn't cry, shouldn't show emotion, shouldn't care about getting an education or maintaining the faith. No, a man should be about the money, about the women, doing whatever he has to in order to survive, kill to stay alive. I'm so tired of being tired and detesting the man that I've become. I used to believe this was the only way, but life shouldn't be this detrimental, so self-destructive. Sure, when I was younger, I thought thug life was the best way to live, but that cloud of glamour that soon shrouded my judgment was soon wiped away by the truth. These young men have the same mindset I did, hustling and thugging, not loving. I need to help them before it's too late, because I didn't have that. Man, I wish I knew. I wasted my youth trying to sell crack and PCP and became addicted, not only to the drugs, but to the lifestyle. My daughter won't look at me. My family doesn't even acknowledge me, just a strain that keeps them shackled to the ground. I used to be the one that tied them together. Now I'm the load that drags them down. Well, I'm done being a hindrance. I need to get right and at least try to pick up the shreds of respect I have left. God, if you're listening, help me repair my world and end my family strife. Now I see without God in your heart, you won't make it in life. And this next poem is one that I wrote last summer. And it's about kind of how the media shapes girls' ideas of how they're supposed to be and not kind of how they are. And everyone's beautiful in their own way, and the media doesn't always see it that way. So I wrote a poem about that. It's called Beauty is Dead. Take the girl. Make her feel inadequate and full of flaw. Tell her she's ugly. She needs to lose weight. Too dark, too light, too skinny. Not right. Well, now she's too dead. Suicide at age 16. I guess dead's the new look, huh?
Carrie, you don't do it with the Hakeem. Yes, he is. Like right now, actually. Woo! And again, some of the pieces that they read were from the 100 Voices chapbook, and you can get that through Writing Nights Press. You can also get that, yes, Writing Nights. Hey, hooking up the students. And then you can also go through Young Audiences of Northeast Ohio, or me right now, because I happen to have some extras. There you go. Carla Thompson, hey. All right. But in just a moment, we are going to have a very reluctant to read in front of young ears, Akeem Jamal Rollins, who abandoned us, ran away to Columbus, acted like he didn't love us no more. But like the prodigal son, hun, we take you back. We love you. There we go. See? All right. Yes. But, so we're going to give you a moment here to get up here and get ready. And then you get to listen to the beautiful words of Mr. Akeem Jamal Rollins. 2013. If you are watching us at home, feel free to go to lakeeffectpoetry.com and leave us a donation, or just see us on Facebook and say something really nice about all the wonderful poetry that you've heard today. And we are going strong till midnight. So if you want to come in still and get some mic time, we got that. All donations are loved and appreciated. Well, hot diggity, somebody left a check. You people are beautiful. I'm going to just walk around the cafe and hug folks. Especially my husband, who's working the extra hours that Phoenix would normally be closed. Jacob King, I love you. With you, I will breed. Never mind, I already did. Okay. Mission accomplished. All right. You ready, honey? No? You gonna do it anyway? It's okay. It's okay.
I wrote a poem yesterday. I don't want to do the poems I want to do in front of children. But you see, that's the problem in the sentence, that we both agreed that they're children. Damn. You can't change the sentence once. You can't. Once you say your words, you can't take them back. You can only apologize. I don't remember who said that first, but that's a quote. Oh, fuck it. All right. It's not because of the language. It's because of the content. It's never really my language. It's my content. I'm sure y'all are going to enjoy it. I'm going to be the one sweating uncomfortable up here. Ooh. Looking like Precious in a sauna, but that's okay. Huh? I'm always uncomfortable. Even right now, I have gas. So no matter what, I'm going to be uncomfortable. I already did. All right, so, huh? Well, where's my bless you? Because I've been going for about 10 seconds now. Anyway, I read this poem on Facebook yesterday that one of my friends support.
It was a woman writing to men telling them that they can't write about a certain subject. She said, "Thank you, but stop." And I told her, and this is my response to her, not quite fuck you, but it's kind of a, it's not fuck you, but it's who the fuck are you? Okay. I'm sorry, because your mom's here too, and she's right there. Huh? Wait, was your mom warned that there would be language and content? You were okay. Okay. And she nodded. Okay. I just in front of the kids and with their parents in the room. That's just like, damn. All right. Okay. It's the special education teacher in me. All right. An open letter to women who think men can't or shouldn't write about rape. You are wrong. Us, not so fairer sex, hairy beasts with gruff voices and big limbs. The only thing we can safely have is aggression, sports, pummel, and pain. I was 5'10", 12 years old when I became a question mark. Are you a boy or girl? Why you walk like that? Why your butt so big? You switch? You think you cute. You wanted it, right? You wanted it. I ain't hurt you. But women are the 1 in 3. The 1 in 4, 1 in 5, some one-handed statistic that makes it the only safe thing they can have is claiming it as your own, like childbearing. I am an anomaly. I don't happen often. Boys don't get raped, they want it. Aggression is the only thing we safely have. My best friend is an anomaly. His 3 exes are also anomalies. So are 3 of mine and my cousin and an old poetry coach, and another best guy friend. This is starting to be a really common, rare thing. Boys can't say no. Men always want it. Aggression, aggression. I am still a question. Did it happen when you were a kid? Oh, that doesn't count then. It's pedophilia, right? Molestation. No, you weren't a man yet, so you didn't lose anything. This is when I turned myself into a question. I wanted it, right? I liked it. Did I mean to say no? Did I say no and mean it? Did I mean it? I'm 6'3", 190 pounds, dark and heavy like old soot. I'm a man now. This can't happen to me. Men don't get forced to do things. We're stronger. If you are forced, you can't be stronger. Aaron is a 5'3" china cabinet of a man, an ex-lover, and in his 20s, when his no was turned into foreplay and stop fell from his lips like Alice tripped into Wonderland, what does that make him now? He can't be a man now. What is he? If it happened to me now, what would that make me? A boy in a parade float shaped like a man's skeleton? Too big for my britches? A monster? A failed excuse? Was mom's miscarriage a bullet fired 3 years too early? Would the other boy have made better? Is it justified because I'm gay? Am I gay, or do I just get off on reliving tragedies? Only men rape. Women can't rape. A whole hand's worth of friends must be lying. Aunts aren't uncles. They don't force because boys want it. Men want it all the time. This is when I turn myself into an exclamation point. No! No, I didn't want it, but I am here anyway, knocking on the stolen sex clubhouse door. No men allowed, boys not allowed. This cannot happen to you. And even if it did, it did. And I am not a monster. Men are not monsters, not handfuls of cans tossed into a hungry fountain, wet. No victim deserves to carry the boulders of blame, heavy as burden, and told we are an earthquake on a pedal, an over-exaggeration, only allowed to feel aggression. Women, I know you all lose so much, but damn it, this is not only yours. I don't want to tell your stories. Just stop. Stop. Thank you. Telling me what my story isn't. And I mean that shit. And if you're offended, good, so was I. All right. All right, I'm gonna do one more. So yeah. Speaking of sex. All right. This is a poem. Took a lot of thinking to write this. This body, this Ouija board of men's glass vase hands, none will claim they have touched it, but all of their fingers are still on me. I see the way I am looked at by men who bottle their sexual preference in an unmarked grave. I have always been black enough to be a suspect. My clothes brighter than a punch. My laughter speaks gay bash like a language. I am 6'3" of questionable gender traits and switching when I damn well please. I wouldn't wear this meat suit in a lion's den perfectly seasoned without expecting a bite or two from a loose jaw. The meat is always raw. Who needs a condom? There is no proof of me bearing the proof of the Sodom and Gomorrah in his genitals, a growing pirate ship in the harbor of a womb that I don't have. Wearing rubber boots is evidence he planned on dancing in my rain. This was a car crash of genitals, nothing new. I know the story of my birth. I know a few things about accidents. This is not love. It is simply tightness, friction, and a CVS receipt for KY jelly one of their girlfriends found in the back pocket of his baggy Rocawear jeans, found like another woman's number she is still confused about. Women are a wet dream in a snowstorm slow about this. You call them down low. I simply call them men. A hookup. A good time. And how can they feel anything from me but orgasm, but muscle and twitch? When he begs me, grab him like this, touch him this way. It is because you cannot. The puzzle of your bodies have too many central pieces missing. Or maybe I like being a misbehaved crime scene that always washes the evidence away. I am saying it is no fault of yours, woman. It's not that you aren't woman enough. It's not even that you aren't man enough. Or that he is not man enough. To be honest, it is all of us as one machine. Society tells black man that he is no man if he loves men, so he tells men that he is no love, all sex and shadow. Poof, when the light comes on after he comes, the black Baptists drown us gay demons, and so many black people don't know how to swim. Black men have learned to lie an entire Titanic ship in order to stay above holy water. Those of us who have learned how to breathe underwater, who have learned you gotta come out of the closet to realize that there's a whole fucking house on the other side. We have become icebergs. We know how this story ends. So many of us do not learn how free the water is. So many never learn what freedom is. I have held so close, so many broken vases with fear earthquakes inside of their shatter who call me the worst Halloween scary. Tell me I'm an iceberg. And do I know what icebergs do with the light? They are prisms and split the sun into a six-fingered rainbow. I cannot help my pride, how well I've learned to live in drowning. They cannot help but be part of what we created. Do you know how hard it is to be at the bottom of the food chain, how heavy the undercurrent is? Society tells us all to lie. The difference is they obeyed. Some of us would rather drown ourselves than breathe someone else's air. Thanks. Thanks.
So, who wants to read some poetry? Or play some music? Or... Oh, he left. Okay. All right. Bill.
Yeah, I'll do a quick one or two, I guess, because I'd hate to see this mic sitting up here all lonely. What if? What if when it's over, no heaven or hell, no Satan or Jehovah? What if two wrongs make a right and the truth is void of any light and the darkness will show you the pathway to ignorance where the bliss is a miss and a lie shall set you free and freedom is only a state of mind, the fate of time overshadowed by fear of death? What if perception is formality and reality is merely fiction perceived as realism through the eyes of a realist with rose-colored shades? What if the men responsible for terrorist attacks rest in peace and await our arrival? Rivals only of the flesh, together in this mess until never or forever. Whichever keeps you sane claims our names. What if without race, money, religion, cars, and other material things, we're all the same? Just energy created by time or the figment of a sleeping mind. On a grand scheme, a big dream, the nightmare of a restless slumber. What? Shoot. What was my point? What was I thinking? And what is the point if I pointed out only to be lost in the abyss of your aggravation, coffee, and conversation, or whatever the heck you might be eating or drinking? What was I thinking? Oh yeah, what if? What if when it's over, no heaven or hell, no Satan or Jehovah? What if two wrongs make a right and the truth is void of any light and the darkness will show you the pathway to ignorance where the bliss is a miss and a lie shall set you free and freedom is only a state of mind, the fate of time, overshadowed by fear of death? What if? What if I'm wrong? Thank you. Okay, I will do one more only because the individual behind inspiring this piece is in the room. A lot of people don't know that. I have a whole room full of people who usually think that this piece is about them. And it kind of is about them too. But that's okay. So this piece, I wrote this piece originally, and it was just a freestyle that I did in the kitchen of my home some years ago. And my then baby mama, now wife, told me then, Billy, because I'm just being silly. Yeah, I'm doing my thing, because this is what I do when I'm at home. I act a fool. I'm no less a fool at home than I am here, babbling about nothing until people finally say, Bill, okay, shut up, do the damn piece. That's me at home. She said, write that down or you're going to regret it. And I did. And it goes like this. It's my real serious 90s R&B singer pose. Hold up. Got to do it like this. Got to bite my top lip and go. Voluptuous lady, you are so fine. Voluptuous lady, I wish you were mine. I love the way you move. You really turn me on. Voluptuous lady. There ain't no reverb on the mic, so I brought my own. Lady. The Nestle Quick Bunny lost his claim to fame. Now he loses control when he hears your name. So rich and thick that you got to drink it slow. Don't allow it. Victoria ain't no secret, it was on the evening news, and even that was all a lie. I tried to get you something there for Valentine's Day, but it only fit one thigh. Open up the pages of any fashion magazine, be displaying models that look like addicts, mere crack fiends. You are the woman that I see in my dream. They call you thick, voluptuous, Rubenesque, big bone. Say, if you ain't busy tonight, can I call you on the phone? Hello? Hey, what's up? This is Bill. What do you like? Because it seems I can't remember. We can go to the movies, the park. Oh, no, never mind. I got it. I'll take you out to dinner. Roll call. Missy Elliott, Thea, Jill Scott, and my baby mama, just to name a few. Don't be offended if I call you too. Listen to the words that are coming from my mouth. I thought I'd died and gone to heaven when I moved down south. You turned capri pants into a work of art. I love the way you make a long skirt sway. I don't give a damn about your man. Tell that nigga I'm gay. Did you take a class to learn how to shake that ass? Because if so, I'm signing up for 101. Voluptuous lady, don't be offended. I'm just having some fun. Voluptuous lady, you are so fine. Voluptuous lady, I wish you were mine. I love the way you move. You really turn me on. Voluptuous lady, lady, lady. That's my reverb again. Lady, can we reverb together? Lady, lady. Thank you. See, that's reverb and echo. Thank you for your participation.
I have some pieces that I didn't do when I was up at the mic a couple times before because there were children here. And there are still children sort of here, but they are the children of poets. So I'm not too worried about it. I wanted the biggest mountain I had climbed to be your penis, not the immense pile of your ignorance. The tightest rocky crevice through which we'd squeeze should have been my vagina, but instead it is your narrow mind. The earth moving, vibrating, quivering should have been simultaneous orgasms, but since that didn't happen, it must have been my mental image of you caving in. You get one last chance to unloose yourself from this wilderness, but do it right, because there are plenty of people with amazing butts and dedicated tongues. My house is haunted. Everywhere I turn are sensual spirits. You are here. You incorporeally possess my living space. You're here with me on this blustery Sunday afternoon. My beanbag chair still smells like everything we did last night. The coffee table hugs the hutch, moved when we made more floor space for ourselves. The bathtub lingers in the melon-scented memory of this morning. I can still feel every one of 719 kisses and your 10 fingernails bringing my back alive. My bed remembered the imprint of your body tangled together in mine. The floor, glad to be the landing pad for our hurriedly discarded clothes. In fact, the carpeting didn't want to give up your clothes when I groped about for them in the dark. By daylight, you searching my wardrobe for an outfit to wear made the clothing rods shake with ecstasy, mewing a sigh like my hips meeting your much-missed fingertips. There was a time when these spirits would have called out for your immediate bodily return. But you don't need to be here now. The ghosts of last night are content with the glimmering memory. If these walls could speak, the only regret they would voice is that you didn't pull my hair this time. I have a haiku. It's about being a competitive poet. What is the next line? I'm an awful slam poet. Think, 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 nothing. The things I couldn't say. I spent the better part of Friday night, my face burrowed into the carpet of your chest, wishing I had words, any words to say to you. My thoughts pooled in swirling eddies, cycling about, but never escaping through my lips. I did manage to tell you. For being a poet, I sure can't come up with shit to say. Thinking all the while of Miranda from Sex and the City and her insistent, sex is the only time in my exceedingly verbal, overly articulate life when it is perfectly acceptable to shut up. There is a time to dam up the river of verbal expression with sticks and mud built by reticent beavers, and then comes springtime, when murmuring streams begin to trickle again. I trickled, but not at the level of your torrents. Your affirmations rained down on me, brushing over my stretch marks, blessing my cellulite, burnishing every blemish into a shine of beauty. Perhaps my quivering, sighing, moaning told you everything I couldn't say with words. Or maybe I will yet breach the levee between my mind and my mouth and let my cascade envelop you. The safe route. I'm jumping. No, I won't jump. I stand at the crumbling edge of an abyss, backing away while gravity tells me it will all be okay. How I got here, teetering on this brink, I'm not sure. Maybe it was the Spanish accent and dark brown eyes that spoke of a soft, gentle touch, the daily texting in Spanglish and helping me wash all the dishes. Or it could be the general loneliness and exasperation with any method that promises something will be different this time around. The sledge won't hold forever. If I don't decide to fling or not to fling, it won't be my decision anymore. The precipice calls to me. Would staying on the mountain and picking my way in a safe walking route downhill, well, I know where that goes. Maybe it's time for the unfamiliar. A leap to a fling I know will go nowhere, but might be fun. Anybody got a parachute? And then the, shall we say, second part of that. I got laid last night. Thank you. High five for taking it down low. I know it's supposed to be an accomplishment, something to congratulate over, or at least a way to rebel against my childhood. I got laid last night, and I don't know how I feel. I got what I wanted if what I wanted was his hands gliding up and down my hips, his tongue flicking my clit, and his words all Spanish passion, reflecting every square millimeter of his skin upon mine. If what I wanted was someone to be more sure about me than I am about him, and to give me starlight and night together, and his eyes gazing into mine, then I got what I wanted. I depend on his surety in me to be the confidence I lack for us. Was it by accident your stepmother hired me as your English tutor? Did she know my confidence in my native tongue would incite his certitude I was the best thing he had ever known? No one told him not to fall for the first American woman he met. I got laid last night. It's not a score, a conquest, or a notch on my bedpost. Even though I could get away with the stop, drop, and roll away from him, I cannot drag any words about love from these lips I keep biting. Still, I'm not backing up my no with any conviction. Ambivalence isn't a lack of caring. It's being pulled on one arm by a T-Rex chasing a velociraptor and dragged on the other arm by the loudest, strongest entry to the county fair tractor pull, of not knowing which arm socket will give first and having no idea which side I'm rooting for. I got laid last night and I don't know how I feel. This one is called Again. They call me intimidating, pulled together, calm and fair-minded. This is true, and it is a ruse. This sensible certainty has grown into a concealing jigsaw hedge, a manufactured set of defenses against helplessly watching as someone dashes my inner organs to shreds again. I might not survive another brutal attack of love gone wrong. My assailants were spider scientists, Glenn Beck groupies, undocumented stonecutters, goddesses from Cameroon, lunch meat eaters, high-heeled prancers, pyramid salsa dancers, unlicensed pilots, and 3.5-inch dicks filled with philandering. They extracted just enough of my trust. I mellowed my steel-plated skin, let myself risk being rattled. Time and again I heard, "I'll never break your trust," and, "But I won't hurt you." In the words of Adam Sandler as the wedding singer, "But it all was bullshit." Perhaps, like the Saturn saying declares, someday I will meet that person who makes me understand why it never worked out with anyone else. I don't know if that person is you, but the steel plates on my skin are starting to retract. My fair-mindedness is dappled with the stars in my eyes. I might not often admit to the butterflies that tussle in my stomach at your name, because I still want to appear calm and pulled together. Can I take that chance again? Fuck it, I'm falling in love with you. And I think that's all that I have for now. Okay, this is the Sunday Fun Day Fund Drive for the Lake Effect Poetry Slam team so that we can go to nationals next week. Lake Effect. So for a donation, anyone can come up here to this mic or this general staging area and perform whatever you want to. Poetry, song, dance, pantomime, mime. You can do a hula hoop if you want, if you have a unicycle or a piccolo or a didgeridoo. What? Or a trained bear, or if you have a trampoline with you and you want to show us your trampoline tricks, put a donation in the receptacle here and perform for us. So, do we have another performer? Yes, we have another performer. What is your name, good sir? Adam? Let's give it up for Adam!
Actually, an announcement first. I'm running an open mic at the Literary Cafe the fourth Saturday of every month. We just started it yesterday. And also, we've been doing a poetry reading for about 15 years in Pittsburgh, and now we're moving it to Max Bax the 3rd September of the month. 3rd September of the month, yes. 3rd Saturday of September. I guess Pittsburgh, I don't know much about Pittsburgh. My friend is from there, and it's kind of hard to have an open reading, and so he started one 15 years ago, and I guess they're giving it up, so it's coming to Cleveland. So I've got flyers, if you call these flyers. 5 poems for the dead and dying. This was written when I went to China. 1. He said his robes were brown because he's the lowest in his work, and flower red is the beautiful one he's not wearing. What about the soil beneath that evergreen? Why does the earth choose brown when there's no color it cannot wear? More than that, no one can say. 2. The coolest place is the Hall of the Dead. Ribbons, names, photos, fruit, and smoking incense stirred in loops by ceiling fans. Mourners bow here like gates taken in the breeze before righting themselves and latching closed again. Lunghua Temple has seen 1,000 winters, and it looks tight against gratitude. The buildings are arthritic, the paint is dull, and stone is cracked. No one minds if you take pictures here. Only young lovers and their innocent faces, or the chef with white panty lines showing out as she's mopping remind me that spring is here. 3. Someone is there inside that can the monk held. It's full of free will and ash. The surface is reflective and bright, but the core is relative and cramped, just like real life. When I first saw it, I thought it was a shit can from the night before. Now I know that is the case, not because of whom is in it, but because of the rest of us who aren't. 4. Now I know why the Buddha has 2 hands open, the right hand waving hello goodbye to the Chinese patrons, the left asking Whitey to spare the change. His swastika is worn backwards upon his chest, a tattoo upon his soul, the ash and the ecstasy in ancient lines entwined as by a child's hand, a child's mistake from a child's point of view in the dirt. 5. While an unidentified group of novice monks and one ancient one who looks like a piece of wood with a face, bang and gong, a family, each member with a red bag of money dumps its good luck into the flames at Ufo Temple. The bags are full of nothing. Empty myself, maybe I should jump into the flames along with the paper money. Might as well test the fire. It's time to see if my head is aflame or it's just the heat that I'm feeling. Thanks. This one is called Gestalt. Yeah, it's about as much German as I know. It has a lot of terms. When I used to work in the printing industry, and so it has a lot of. And I in the past I've made some books, so it has a lot of those terms towards the end. It may sound like some other terms, but that's what it's about. So PMS isn't, well, it is like what happens every month, but it's also, in this case, it's a different color scheme that printers use. 1. Title, Prometheus, the morning after milk run, now Sunday and empathy quite maneuvered. I say milk there, Sunday, leche and Cajun kidney beans from a steel can with a plastic baby spoon actualized. Milk tooth, milk leg, milk fever, milk sop, milk sickness, milk and honey, milk velch, milk weed, milk toast, the Milky Way. Meanwhile, in her arms, holding the cold breath of morning, fingers curved around its slightness as if it was my own, consumed and a bit familiar with flame, but not serving and to no one remembered but Asia, who's too wise to recall. 2. Memory is the postmodern luxury until lately. 3. Somehow milk and leche are at odds, the fire regarded without excuse. Once platinum convergence brought bombshell wax as indiscriminate red valence in semiotic verse. One's lips were quite red then, and titanic cock took eagle breeze in queer liver forms, suckling operations of the hourglass as the time was now. Asia was put to work. The basics of pink propaganda ensued, the prophetic recompense. Hootenanny being with zero ink tolerance, remainder clouds and hootenanny selections, festival endurance, hootenanny style, finger blame and chance incense, hootenanny lingo in the Black Bart Brigade, reasonable definite purpose and hootenanny cross-snatch, hootenanny cock and flagged hootenanny moonshine, curved hootenanny markup with 10% Zazen screens, hootenanny plates with special PMS day tags, print massage with bra-burning hootenanny thermographs, injustice application with strain AB nonviolent hootenanny, Sadhu options with hootenanny nuclear family fonts, duende hootenanny, neither born nor dying, patriotic hootenanny, its finger pointing at right angles and at weird angels, gurus of impartial hootenanny who rape your humble dreams and call it terminal uniqueness, impalatable prescient hootenanny of the body and the mind without grounding in reality or perseverance, Death threat hootenanny as if being immutable is glutinous. Truth or consequences hootenanny without there being either. Addictions of clever hootenanny at another's behest that leave you vacant and void and absent of trust. Razor-edged hootenanny drawing blood from friends and from foes. What the fuck hootenanny raining shit from all sides at once. Altered states of potential hootenanny without a hand being raised to help. Coincidence confusing hootenanny with destiny and destiny with free will. Fly through the window hootenanny that can't find one single wall to land on. Hootenanny with the elusive fix that refuses declarative noun status. Concupiscent hootenanny without a green card. Gravedigger hootenanny telling off-color jokes about insurance salesmen. Incomparable hootenanny that shuts you up and turns the TV off. Cellular hootenanny that rings and rings and rings before circling the wagons. You aren't to blame, hootenanny, despite the lack of witnesses and no laws against what you didn't do. Naked lunch hootenanny after which you die sleeping. Hootenanny, 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 the sins of the father, the signs of the son, and hello, my name is Nobo Daddy. Thanks. Somebody's going for the money. This is Wordsmiths. You say, may I have a word with you? I say, my word is all I have. You say, give me a piece of your mind. We had words, a few words, choice words, dirty words, awkwards, jargon, and of condolence, some of which were to the wise. A word of the state means a patient in a word, sick of all this talk and action speaking. Word for word, there was no comment to kill with silence, or what we have here. I say, send me word when you're ready. You say the word is out. I say, you wouldn't say shit if your mouth was full of it. We had words, a few words, heartfelt words, words of honor, impassioned words, words of regret, wrong words, meaning we were wordy or reached the word's limit. Is that what it is, the good news, the thing that's up in this word and the next? Not mumbo-jumbo, weasel words, or what goes without saying, but famous last words speaking? You say, mark my words. I say, you took the words right out of my mouth. You say, many a true word spoken in jest. We had words, a few words, words that fail, words that list, lip-read words that tax the code, giving one his word's worth, another his lost in translation. Language is going green, the first word war, the second word war, the third word exports war as they speak in our mother tongues like a false beginner in the target languages. We had words, a few words, buzzwords drawn in the sand on the line that we crossed. And I'll just read one more. This one doesn't have a title. It's just called 42B. I wrote the muse haunted me for the first time in about 10 years, and I wrote like 100 poems in 3 months, and I haven't written one since. I screwed up. I never wrote that many poems. I probably never write them again. I am not a destination, crossed at the arms, crossed at the legs, star-crossed and crossed out. There's no void to reach across, so I reach to myself on the other side I need to be on to be with you here by me. I am not a destination. I am alone in crowds and crowded out of my mind. There is space and time leading only to heat death, and they're smoking me out. I'm facing them off, but I cannot target memories like they can. I am not a destination. I am hesitation, evaporation, intersection, not a destination. Truth can be delayed, but it cannot be erased. Hold it down, and it will pop up minutes or millennia away, but it will be there bobbing no matter what damage is done to me or mine or ours. Without a witness, I may be an X, but I'll never be a zero, even if I am going nowhere that you would want to follow. Thank you. Now, my name is Adam, and I guess that's it. Oh, gonna destroy the place.
We are entering prime time here at the Lake Effect Poetry Fun Day Sunday Fun Day Fundrive. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone who read the last hour or so. It's been really good stuff we've been hearing. Thank you to everyone who's donated. Thank you to Jacob, who is donating his tips tonight and who is keeping the cafe open late for us. We really, really appreciate your support. I will read a few poems unless anyone else has any donations to make or wants to perform right now. No? All right. I will read a few, and then Az will be back up here. Okay, cool. Awesome. This is called autobiography. Now, I'm going to tell you everything. I was born half bird, one fully feathered brown robin's wing folded against my left shoulder blade, and the first time I opened my mouth to sing, mute lark that I was, I only cried. Not from the shock of cold air against my body, but from the crippling of gravity and my inability to defy it. These things happen when the gods leave their names on birth certificates. When I was not quite 3, the doctors declared me strong enough, cutting along my back, neatly defining the edge of bone while stealing bits of valve and artery to stop my bleeding heart, leaving it raw and tender. I was not quite 4 when I begged for the butterfly princess costume, certain that the pink and green cape would carry me over the roof, just as I'd seen in my dreams. A sparrow landed on my finger and spoke to me while I slept, and I spent my waking hours chasing them with outstretched arms, not understanding. I stopped talking to the man that no one else could see. When I was not quite 7, I'd already learned to slouch, rolling my shoulders forward in a protective hunch, guarding what was left of my vulnerable heart. I jumped from the top of the living room staircase, flapping my arms, convinced that I only needed to practice. I often left school, homesick and grave. When I was not quite 9, I was a fox, a bear, a rabbit, a dog, a wolf, a deer, a raccoon, a cat, a mouse. I'd scratched my real names in tiny pencil print across the tops of my spelling tests. I still jumped from the top of the stairs. I sprained, then later broke my arm because I couldn't fly across playgrounds. I started being afraid of heights. I was told not to be an artist because they starve. When I was not quite 12, a friend's mother scolded me for wanting to be a flying creature of feathers and fur, a chimera, a hybrid of teeth and of air, but never human. I was admonished to go talk about careers, gymnastics, boys, anything without claws or wings. When I was not quite 13, I started dealing in darkness. When I was not quite 16, every night when I fell asleep, I signed petitions to end the world before dawn. When I was not quite 24, I dissolved my fear of the highway and I spent my time swapping fables with the little silver-furred bat who spent her summers hunting in the backyard. When I was not quite 30, the sun rose. 3 tiny birds, black and white, little more than fluff and heat, landed in the living room, answered the 16 prayers I'd been holding in my mouth and the 14 more that still tangled in my hair. The smallest bird, Alpha and Omega, scratched at my eye and said, "You are the crystal lantern. The world cannot end without your consent." I believed her. When I was not quite 53, I could fly airplanes, run a 5K, do a brake job on my car, skydive, climb the Alps, fire any gun with perfect accuracy, and hack the computers of the CIA. I always won. I was magic. When I was not quite 79, I could levitate, kiss tigers, bilocate, shift my shape, and disappear. And when I was not quite 100, my wings grew back. The daylight crept in on quiet insect feet. Thank you. Thank you, Keem. Horoscope. Even after the floods and the mirror ball pageants, even after the stepstone telephones, even after the headlamps and broken glass reflected the maze and phosphor pennants, even then, my words couldn't save you. Penny by penny, a will is broken. That is the way of the Norns, the Moray. Whether they pour buckets of sand and water or weave thread into cloth, they will find you broken or they will break you. You will bear your empty hands or they will pry your grip. You will go or they will take you. This is the way it is. This is the way it always happens. When you surrender, they will take your silver shoes, your silken ties, your dresses, your wallet. Don't even wear your wedding ring. They'll take that from you too. Keep your twilight, your kindness. Remember how to read and write. Leave prayers folded in your pockets and shoes. Stitch your magic around your heart with heavy black thread. Don't wear it in baubles around your neck. Everyone here dresses in red. They'll seal your mouth with a lead crest. You will place telephone calls to Valhalla, to Hekla, to Sinai, but they will claim your ravens before they can make it back to Woden's shoulders. My words can't help you. I don't get to decide where the monsters sit. We press our hands to the plate glass and our ears to the receiver. Acrylic landscapes deceive, paving faces with plastic. The green-blue alloy of coils and fish scales balances the yoke, heavy with sandstone and grief. I need to speak with someone about the Nirvana tigers. I need to speak with someone about the street lamp contemplatives. I need to speak with someone about the green stained glass, about the pewter nightlight. You eat cake and rice, but still you hunger. I unhinge my jaw to swallow the moon and carry it 300 miles until pieces splinter from it, a shrapnel of rock and reflections. We call for water, for oil, for bread. The recycled goddesses embroider. 5 stitches make a flower while humming their widowed waltz, leaving you face up in a field of lavender. Breathe deeply of the incense of healers and roar. Don't wait for the coffee and the smoky samovar. Don't wait for the taxi cab. Don't wait for the sainted king with his ancient army to emerge from the mountain at your need. You will grow feathers between the toes of your paws, from the tuft of your tail, from the whiskers at your cheeks. Do not remain silent. When you roar, you will fly. Did Az go somewhere? Okay. Magpie, magpie, tented in the rectory, signaling across forbidden cities to a jealous god or two. The typewriter, loaded with ink and feathers, leaves green thumbprints across my black umbrella. And I carry a black umbrella, not because of Homer's diamonds, parking lot glories, and the wilding blue-red orchids. Magpie, magpie, defining the blue tile walkways, and like a gorgon, nasally spilling the muted drool of haiku carpet factories. And I hang a dried lily from the rear view in place of a rosary. I keep 29 reliquaries between my left and right rib cages. I have room for exactly one more. Magpie, magpie, perched in the infinite breathing tree, repenting of the ballroom dancing because someone sold him the fear of beginning for glass beads, polished rock, and the national anthem. Magpie remembers when life only cost 20 cents. Little sweet magpie, your brothers aren't coming. Little sweet magpie, your angels aren't coming. Little sweet magpie, the police are coming. They are coming for the soot-covered shamans. They are coming for the golden masks on the walls. They are careless with other people's things. Fold your tongue around your origami cigarettes. Mountain fold, valley fold, inside tuck, reverse, and wait. Magpie, magpie, builds a crown of his initials for the heron and the albatross and the pelican and all the little angry cloud owls to bow and pay him homage. And I ring bells of platitudes for the cave pigeons and the injured rabbits. They won't let go of their newspaper collages, and all of us have been marked because we hear the drums outside the windows. We like to yell. We like to yell. We like to yell because it makes us change. Parts of us are broken, but parts of us are saved. Thank you. This is the Lake Effect Poetry Slam Sunday.